agree with me that events of the last 1 week in Lagos State cause so much, to be desired. And we really need to call on men of goodwill, to call on people with conscience to rise up with us in this very, very important journey in which we have found ourselves. I will not be reading from my address, but everyone will have a copy after this. Indeed, the press conference is called with the theme that before it is too late, let us avoid intractable crisis. I'm sure members of the Fourth Estate of the Realm, you will agree with us that what we are going through in Lagos, unfortunately, should not have been. It should not. It's worrisome. It's worrisome because Lagos is a state of excellence and Lagos should lead. Unfortunately, Lagos seems to be at its lowest ebb, and we may be going through a precipice if we don't urgently do something. I will not bog you down with too many issues of what got us here, because you are also very much aware. It all started in May, during the party congresses. And some of you will recall that we warned the party, don't let us go through this route. Unfortunately, we went through a route that may consume all of us. Most times I try to look back, I try to look at the political development of Lagos State, indeed political development of Nigeria. Lagos has played roles that is not just about Nigeria, but it's also been emulated politically with all of its development by other African countries as well as other emerging economies. But today, we have found ourselves in a situation where we must cry out, especially events of the last 96 hours. In May, when the national organ of our party directed that we should hold congresses with a view to electing officers of our party, we adhered to it. Unfortunately, a section of the party who feel that necessarily they must call the shots, they must determine the fate of party members, choose to disregard the constitution of our party, choose to disregard the Electoral Act as amended, choose to disregard the regulation for the conduct of those congresses. And I'm sure you are all aware of what becomes of that Congress. A situation where local council development areas that are not listed in the Constitution of the Federal Republic are recognized as duly established local governments just because some people somewhere feel that will give them comparative advantage in the political space and process. In Lagos State, it is very clear that we have 245 wards and 20 local governments. But because some people feel they are the powers, some people feel that they own all of us and indeed own our party, and therefore we should all be at their whims and caprices, and therefore we almost disregard the Constitution and go the way of impunity. And that is what caused us to conduct our congresses on the basis of recognized local government and in line with extant regulations and laws. Precisely on the 5th of June, we caused a letter to the National Secretariat. And indeed, the National Working Committee of our party looked at the case and said the group or whoever that have conducted elections or congresses on the basis of 377 wards and 57 local governments is void, is a nullity, and cannot stand. That was the resolution of the National Working Committee. And therefore, because Lagos is very peculiar, that a political solution be sought with a view to correcting, the anomalies. As I speak with you, the National Secretariat of our party has not deemed to go through with that decision. The committee led by Deputy National Chairman, Senator Lawan, who incidentally is also the current Deputy National Chairman of the party, is yet to look at the issue of Lagos, amongst other states that it was instructed, to look for solution. And we know why it happened. Because Senator Lawan is a friend to one of the people involved in the Lagos crisis. Of course, we approached the court. Altogether, we have 25 different cases in court. But before the court could hear these cases, it has also, went on its annual vacation. And we are hoping that now that courts are back from their vacation, all issues having to do, with political matters, particularly, Congress matters within the parties, will be urgently looked into with a view, to clearing all of these issues. Apart from approaching the courts to interpret our laws, the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, caused a meeting with a view to intervening. And of course, we make our position very clear, that all we demand is for the party to ensure fair play, to ensure justice, the party to show equity in righting the wrongs. How do I mean? The party to look at its own laws. It's been said severally, and there are legal authorities by Supreme Court wherein parties are expected to absolutely respect its own laws and regulations. Unfortunately, in this game, people think to relegate laws and morals. And this is what we are standing up against. We want to enjoin all Nigerians, especially people of goodwill. We want to enjoin all Nigerians, especially people who can talk to power, who can speak to the throne, to speak to the leadership of our great party, elected leadership of our great party. And invite them to look at the issue of Lagos. It is very critical at this point in time. It is very necessary for us to forge ahead. There is a lesson to learn from Lagos, and I hope our leaders at the national level will not forget that lesson. There is a lesson to learn from Osun State, which is more recent and it's still hot on the plate, that the party cannot undermine its members. The party cannot walk away from being equitable, from being fair, from being just against its own members. Aside from going to the courts, we also try again to go back to the National Working Committee and say, listen, we really don't want to go to court. Why don't you look at this issue? And the issue is very straight, very, very straight. The issue is about right and wrong. It's about law. It's about legality and illegality. You all know the case of Lagos State versus federal government, 2002, during the creation of local governments. You remember what the Supreme Court said, that the process is right, but it is inchoate. And therefore, Lagos State government should approach the National Assembly with a view to getting the National Assembly to list those created local governments, to make it legal. So the question is, why would anyone want to insist that his position or a minority position must also supersede the ground norm for the entity called Nigeria by flouting its constitution and continue to make as if there were no legal interpretation of the creation of such local governments? Well, the question is, but you've always been part of them. Yes, because we did not have the strength, you see, to say, no, you cannot do this. But all the time, we've always raised our voice against tyranny, against impunity. But then we found ourselves in party that can be best described as a one-man party. So we were there, waiting for the opportunity which presented itself to us in May this year in the All Progressives Party. And our position is very clear. You cannot do anything on the basis of local government and local council development area. It doesn't add up. It cannot work. The party clearly states that congresses shall hold in INEC-recognized wards. So the question is, why did you hold congresses in Lagos on the basis otherwise? So we wrote a letter to the national chairman, 6th September precisely, where we, with the mandate, you see, that the resolution of the last NWC should be respected. Unfortunately, the National Secretariat of our party did not even acknowledge receipt of these letters, talk less of making efforts in considering its content. Last week, when it became very glaring that we will be going into party primaries, before it started, we wrote another letter. Not only did we write the letter, we also ensured that the letter was published. And if you look at this day, of 29th of September, it was published. It was a 2-page advertorial raising certain basic questions and inviting the National Secretariat of our party to appropriately look at it, not just to look at it, but to look at it within the context of extant regulations and law. There is a subsisting INEC regulation, which is called Political Party Primaries Regulation 2014, where it is stated very clearly the expectations from INEC of what will constitute a party primary that is credible. It touched on the integrity of the process by demanding, particularly if you are running a direct primaries, that clearly the sanctity of your membership register must be ensured. If you look at paragraph 11 of that regulation, it states very clearly, and I quote, "For the avoidance of doubt," it says, "all political party that intends to organize its primaries by direct method must ensure that it maintains a proper and duly certified membership register, which must be available for inspection by the Commission, the aspirants, and any party member that requests same." It's very clear. Each political party must ensure that this happens. In the case of Lagos, unfortunately, as far back as 2014, the membership register, which was caused by the National Secretariat for each state to conduct when APC was battered, and it was expected to be coordinated at geopolitical zonal level. It will interest you, ladies and gentlemen, here, that yes, fresh membership registration was carried out in Lagos State into the new party. It was coordinated by Honorable Wale Oshun and Ayo Afolabi and others. And the secretariat was ACME for the Southwest Geopolitical Zone. After the exercise, the register was hijacked by some individuals who feel that they own the party. And we've always been crying that no, the membership register of all states and geopolitical zone in Nigeria is resident with the National Secretariat, except the Southwest. You should ask the question from the National Secretariat of the party, where is the membership register for the Southwest. So let us situate this issue now within the context of Lagos. As I speak with you, Lagos do not have a membership register whose integrity has not been compromised. And it's like what you saw the other day. When Mr. Tunde Balogun said that in Lagos, APC has 5 million membership. It's funny. Today is Sunday or Monday. Monday, the presidential primary that was carried out in Lagos State was faulty. And what do we hear? That the result was 1.9 million members who voted. Voted where? When everyone was busy preparing for other levels of primary. So if 1.9 million members voted, and majority of our members were disenfranchised because no voting actually took place. And you saw the same thing this morning. After the National Secretariat had said we are postponing, in a few isolated places, you saw what went on. So the question is, where did the election committee that superintended over the presidential primary election in Lagos come from? Where? Because the National Secretariat of our party did not inaugurate any election committee for Lagos State. As of that point in time. So who coordinated, who conducted party primary in Lagos? What membership register was used? Let them come out and tell the world. What form of identification was used? Because the so-called membership card, which ostensibly was expected to be used for party primary, was only distributed on Saturday and yesterday. So I want to implore you to ask these questions and get answer. I demand an answer because I can call myself one of the few or one of the hundreds of thousands of unsung heroes of democracy. While some people took to their heels to seek asylum, I was part of those who stood against tyranny at the expense of my life. So I am demanding to know who conducted the presidential primary election in Lagos. On the heels of that, on Saturday, some purported membership ID cards were being circulated for the conduct of other party primary elections. And do you know what drew our attention? It was because as illegal as that exercise was, it was also given to local government council chairmen and not to local government party chairmen for distribution, with strict instruction that if by happenstance they were able to print out some cards for certain perceived individuals who may not vote the way they would have wanted, that they should also not be given the membership card. And the lie that was told was that the membership register was issued by the National Secretariat of our party. So the question again is Lagos State's membership card was printed in isolation of other states? Which other state has been issued with a membership card in the last 1 month? Because you will recall some time ago, a couple of weeks ago, that the acting National Publicity Secretary came out to say that they should not, people should not register online because the party has not opened an online portal. Of course, that decision was taken because some people wrote a paper. Where did those membership, card, which has been, distributed to, a few members of the party, emanated? We must be told. We are challenging the National Secretariat to come out and tell us that they have issued out membership cards to Lagos State alone. And they have also given appropriate instructions that it should be given out selectively. It speaks volume of some individuals' determination to truncate this democratic process. In wanting to impugn on all that is good and decent. We ask questions that yes, we are in court, but our right cannot be impugned upon. If there is going to be party primaries, we must participate. For us to participate, there must be an acceptable membership register known and agreed to by all members of the party. It's not there. It's not there because some people try to put their position or their status or influence in the party to trample upon others' rights. And this is key for us. It's very important for Nigerians to know that the process of party primary is skewed against hundreds of thousands of party members who believes in us, who are with us, who are fighting tyrannic tendencies, who are standing up against all odds to say these actions are contrary to all known democratic ethos. We therefore want to invite attention of our party that should the national chairman and members of the National Working Committee of the party refuse to hearken to our cry in coming out clearly with whatever position they have taken towards the nomination of party candidates by way of primaries. Osun may be a child's play. Osun may be a child's play. And let me remind them, and have said this for the uptenth time, that this is the way it started in 1992. 26 years ago, and we all suffered it. We are demanding that for any primary exercise to go in Lagos, the national must bring from any other states ancillary officials that will assist the National Election Committee for Lagos State in the various local governments, in the various wards. Elected officers of the party, either at the local government, at the state ward, must have nothing, absolutely nothing to do with the exercise. Locations for primary, as we speak with you, is not known. Whereas, going by the regulation, it ought to be published. Yes. What do we have, even with the little information flitting out, is that local government council secretariats will be used for collation and some other things. We demand no. Materials must be carried to the various wards by people that are not or have not been involved in endorsement or otherwise. Yes. The 2014 regulation goes further to say that whoever that will be involved in conducting primaries must be known to all aspirants ahead of time, so that where there are issues, it will be quickly corrected. Today, we are not involved. We're not invited. We don't know what is happening. We are members of APC, and unfortunately, the party makes as if all is well. All is not well. There are questions to be answered. The election committee, led by Honorable Clement Ebiri, should not allow any person or group of persons to tarnish what he has built over the years. He's a man of integrity known to us. He must not allow himself to be compromised. He will be compromised, and his exercise will come to nullity if he take from the Tunde Balogun group of the party and allow himself to go on the voyage of rascality. We will stand up against them. 20 local government coordinator, 245 ward committee, and other ancillary support staff that have been appointed by Tunde Balogun must not be part of those that will conduct primaries in Lagos State. If it will require the national chairman to postpone again by a day or two, so that all of these knotty issues will be resolved, we will not mind. But if the national chairman of the party feel they can, show brazen disregard and allow people to undermine the process, I'm sure our party will pay so dearly for it. We are begging, but should the party dare us, we will speak with our numbers at the appropriate time. And we will speak very loudly.